Ladies and gentlemen of the 29th, welcome again to another one of our live Veterans Virtues episodes. This time, this is me, Corporal Lamb, and I will be interviewing PFC Des Bois. Hello, PFC Des Bois. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm PFC Des Bois. I'm from Canada. I'm 29 years old, and I've been in the 29th for about almost 6 years now.
Almost 6 years? So you must have seen plenty of different squads and companies then?
To be honest, I've been in the same squad mostly since the beginning. I've seen a lot of people moving around, but I've always been with the same group of people since I joined the 29th.
Well, that's unusual for someone who's been in so long. So why don't you tell us about some of the people you've served with then?
My first squad leader was, I believe back then, was Sergeant Balger. He's now the sergeant of our company in Arma right now. He was my first squad leader. I've been with, well, back then I think it was Sergeant Mills was then promoted to Second Lieutenant Mills, who retired since. I've been with Cranston, I believe. I don't remember if he's still in the 29 or what rank he is now, but he was the platoon leader back then when I joined. So I've seen a lot of people come and go.
It's a remarkable set of people who've been your commanders. So in your 6 years as a member of more or less the same squad, I believe it's CP1S3 I have written here. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's the squad name changed a few times because the change of the units, but it's always been the same group of players.
You took a different route. A lot of 29th sort of aim to head into leadership, but I understand you were more focused on perfecting your weapon skills.
Yeah, I've never really been someone who, well, not that I cannot lead, but I don't enjoy it. So it's one of the things I like about the 29th. They did not push me into trying to lead. They understand that what I wanted to do is to help my squad the most I can, and it's what I've been doing since. I've been improving my AT, my combat engineer, and I've been liking it.
Ah, brilliant. So in that case, how did you get into, or rather, how did you become a combat engineer in the first place then?
That's actually quite, well, not funny, but we just, our previous combat engineer just left the 29th back then, and they were looking for someone, and well, decided just to try out. I never played the ET back then in BH. I never tried the bazooka back then. I didn't know how it was working. I just pick it up, and I started a small step at a time.
So you were complete unknown to combat engineering.
Complete unknown. Like most people back then, I just wanted to drive tanks, but I tried the AT, and since I pretty much liked it.
You wanted to drive tanks, and instead you ended up blowing them up.
Yep.
So I've also seen here on your service record there are a remarkable number of bronze and silver stars. Do go ahead. I was going to ask you about them, but if you want to explain yourself, young man.
Yeah, the first one I got was actually the first bronze star. Was 5 years ago. It was, I believe, it was the first round of Battle of the Squad. It was back then in BH, and it was during our platoon level. I remember because I was during that weekend I was going out of town on a conference for my work, and I had to play with a crappy internet in a hotel, and I was so scared that I would let my squad down because I didn't have good internet or good latency, and I end up with 6 kills, and it was really, really nice, a good feeling to be able to join my squad back then, even if I was not sure if I would be able to.
Did you ever consider going back to that hotel for important scrims in the future?
If it would be cheap to go back there, maybe, but I never had a chance to.
And obviously, over those 6 years, I mean, you spent most of them in Darkest Hour, as did anybody with your length of service. But you've now moved over to Arma, and you're still a combat engineer there, correct?
Yep, correct.
How can you sort of describe the differences in being a combat engineer in Darkest Hour and a combat engineer in Arma?
It's both the same. We both blow tank in both games, but the main difference I would expect is in Arma, the maps are way bigger, so you have to end up arranging your target way more carefully, because target can be 300 meters to 1 kilometer far away, and well, like in DH, you had to sneak up on your target. It was more of the sneaking part in DH that you had in Arma. It's more the being able to range the target carefully.
So you're sort of the heaviest weapon that your squad has, then?
Yeah, I'm mostly the mule. I carry EV loadout all the time, and I'm always in the back of the line trying to catch up with the other guys because I'm slower.
Well, to come back to these silver and bronze stars that are on your service record, you've actually got a bronze star and a silver star each while you've been in Arma.
Yep.
And the citations make very impressive reading.
Yeah, the first bronze star was a few months ago. It was when we were playing with against another unit. It was a friendly scrim, nothing like too serious, or just they just came on a server and playing against us. And I just got enough lucky to be in a good spot at a good time with behind a wall when they all came just in front of me, and I just opened on them. It was honestly pure luck at that point.
I mean, pure luck, but they say winners make their own luck.
Yeah, that's true.
But even more impressive is the kill count that is sitting on your silver star record, where apparently you destroyed the entire flank of an enemy team, killing 10 targets in the process in one round of a scrim.
Yeah, that was during the SLT for CP1 a few weeks ago. There's actually a recording of it on the Civil Affair YouTube if some of our members want to go see. But yeah, I end up, once again, it's sometime you make your own luck, but I would call it luck again. I just good time at a good place and just being able to be sneaky through the old map. I suppose my day back in DH being sneaky to trying to get the tanks came back, and I was able to sneak around and mostly murder the old squads on the other side.
You're able to transfer your skills across. Well, if you want to check out that video, the link will be in the description of this video, and you can see whether PFC Des Bois is just being modest or whether he did just get lucky. So, for the benefit of most of the 29th who don't play very much Arma, what can you tell us about Arma that made you sort of fall in love with it and want to play that game, as opposed to Darkest Hour or Rising Storm?
To be honest, I like all those games. The main reason I transferred to the Arma portion of the 29th was because my old squad, most of them were transferring to Arma also, so I decided to join with them. But since I've been here, I really enjoyed the more. Not to say that the other two games are not more tactical, but Arma allow you with bigger maps to do bigger scenarios. It's with more combined operation. That's what I like about it.
And it's sort of, by going into more depth, do you feel that it's a different kind of combat then?
Yes, from what I remember from DH and what I've played a little bit of Orchestra 2, the combat is more close combat. That yes, there is long fighting like from across distance, but most of the combat or from short distance, you have to react quickly to the opponent. With Arma, it's quite the inverse. Yes, you do have some close combat fight, but most of the time it's about how you move on the target before, how you try to sneak in, how you try to take them from far away with your snipers and automatic rifles, than shooting like in close combat.
So there's also sort of a major difference in weapon systems between the games.
Yeah, exactly. In Arma, since it's a more modern game, we all have automatics, and that's. You might think it's easier to do close combat fight with it, but Arma is not a game that really help you to do close combat. The game is a little bit slower. It feels slower, so it's harder to let's say clear a building. It's way harder in Arma than it was in DH or Red Orchestra, I suppose.
So having tried out all of these weapon systems, both in Darkest Hour and in Arma, basically looking mostly here at the bazooka and the rocket launchers in Arma, which do you prefer then, as purely as weapon systems?
The Arma one or easier because most of the launchers are guided. You have sometime like the ET4 that you have to manually aim, but most of the other weapons are guided. You just need to aim on the target for a few seconds, and then the rocket gonna then I just go directly on the target. So that those are easier. So it's actually like easier. My job is easier with those, but the feeling of accomplishment is a little bit weaker than when I was in DH, when I was able to pull out a really long shot with my my bazooka, my Panzerfaust.
Fantastic. So, if you were to try to persuade somebody to come and give Arma a go, what would you say to them? Someone who is perhaps a member of Able Company or Baker Company, how would you persuade them to come and at least give Arma a try?
Well, I would suggest people to watch our video. We've been trying to output a lot of new videos of our drills and platoon drill, company drills, and then squad drills to try to show other people of the unit and outside people what we do in Charlie. And what I would say, it's like I said a bit earlier, Arma is way different than DH was. It's the game is really more about moving around the map than really attacking, but when you attack, it's a bit more clunky, a bit more slow. So it's the real part is really moving on the target. When we were in DH here, we were talking about moving, but it was more fighting at that point. Versus DH is really like we plan way ahead how we're going to move across a long distance and make sure that we spot. It's a different, but it's still fun.
So you've certainly convinced me that I might like to come and give it a go sometime. But my final question to you is, with all the 6 years you've been in, and you've been in 2 different games, and you've been a combat engineer for a lot of time, you've certainly excelled as a combat engineer. Do you have any goals left within the unit that you would like to achieve?
That's a hard question. Like you can see, I've been a PFC for 5 years now, and I don't really plan to move ahead in the chain of command. I like my spot as a squad member, being able to really help my squad. So I would say my goal would be pretty much to just keep improving my gameplay, being able to perform during official and unofficial scrims, and just have a lot of fun. After all, it's the whole point of playing games, it's to have fun.
Well, quite. And in that case, if you say that you're improving your gameplay and your squad is your main game, what then is your aim or your goal for your squad, or even for Charlie Company? What would you like to see happen in the future of Charlie Company?
I would like to be able to scrims against other units. Right now, I know we're actively looking for other units to play against. It's sometimes we tried a few of them. It's always like since Arma is way more I would say mods or add-ons than other two games, it's harder to find another unit that plays with the same configuration than we do. So it's what we're trying to do right now. But I would like to be able to do more scrims, I would say, like we were doing in DH with other units.
Excellent. Well, I hope you and Charlie Company HQ managed to find someone to scrim against. Thank you very much, PFC Des Bois. It's genuinely been a pleasure chatting to you this evening.
Yeah, that's been my pleasure. Thank you very much.
And I hope we bump into each other somewhere on the battlefields in Arma. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.